Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for us to move with the next speaker. May I please invite on stage Dr. Jianchu Xu from the Kunming Institute of Botany, Chinese Academy of Sciences, to the stage to deliver his talk on rural futures, mountain futures, and ethnobotany. Dr. Xu is an internationally respected leading ethnoecologist who works in coupled human environmental systems. His current research includes investigation of early warning signals of global change, transboundary water governance, landscape restoration, ecosystem services, and the resilience, agriculture, and integrative conservation. Professor Xu has published over 100 papers in high-impact journals including Nature, Science, PNAS, Conservation Biology, Fungal Diversity, and Frontiers in Ecology and Evolution. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it out loud and welcome Dr. Xu on stage.
Okay, thanks for organizer invite to come back again for the annual events of Balipala organized the Naturnomics Forum. And I was requested, speak a little early because in order to catch the next meeting on time. So, my topic, and thanks, previous speaker talk about our school education and brings a dimension for the future. My talk about the mountain future, and so I like to say the mountain. Often people, nobody like to live there because the volcano, earthquake, landslides, disaster all occurred in mountain. And in China, traditionally we have two types of people sent to mountain. One is suffer from severe conflicts, and so the civil war, people running away from downstream and from a valley to the mountain, hide in the mountain. Or you are criminal and then sent to mountain as a punishment. So, of course, the mountain we need to understand, and from a long time point of view. And in fact, our human are from mountains, and Lucy is from Ethiopia. It's occurred in the mountain region, and so it's a mountain come a long history, and through the ecological process, but very important, have a fairly high biological diversity and also the cultural diversity, which people are in touch with nature and also by physical environment. And so when we talk about mountain, or we talk about the mountain future, we need to think about what we depends on. So I like to bring the 5 pillars and what all life are supported by our biological community, and so it's that's our wealth, health, beauty, or livelihoods all depends on different species, which mentioned like pollinator, butterfly, bats, and which mentioned by previous speaker. So the 5 pillars are intertwined and interdependent, are result of hundreds of million years of evolution. So I'd like to name that, and the microbials, and they became a hot topic and for soil community. And the plants, of course, what we eat most from plants, and the fungi is a fascinating topic. We work on that, and invertebrates, and there's insects already, the pollinator we already mentioned, and the vertebrates, and which are include human and wildlife. So, but the mountain are quite a challenge, which I mentioned, and also the land degradation and the climate change, invasive species, loss of agricultural biodiversity, but also a lot of poverty in the mountain. So that's the key challenge, and so we create a platform called Mountain Future. It's a Mountain Future. We try to really think about the innovative solution, and which we talk about. The previous speaker, it's a wonderful example how we use school conservation, education for conservation, and we start with the young generation. So we are trying to build a Mountain Future platform with thanks to the local government of Honghe Yunnan province, China. They give us 220 hectare land, which allowed to build the future facility. We still work on that, and which include Africa Center, Cultural Center, Training Center, Research Center, and very important, bring new technology like artificial intelligence, so technology to communicate between nature and the human, but also say, between mountain people and the urban people. So the idea, and we try to assemble different systems, and particularly agroforestry system from Africa, Southeast Asia, and include South Asia, and the South American garden, and so we have an innovation center. That's the current landscape. The good things now, the government building highway, the next door they're building the airport. In the future, it can be good access and for training, for visiting, also for demonstration. The value we look at, one is the human knowledge. So we need a new set of knowledge and to integrate sound technology and the traditional ecological knowledge, but also to optimize natural resources in the mountainscape. That's dealing with the human-nature interaction. That's what we call sustainability. But finally, very, very important to dealing with the human-human relation to promote the bright future livelihoods in the mountain region, which is supported by outsiders. So the compassion are very important to bring that new type of relation among the human. The mountain, I like to say, is a part of a global sustainable development goal, and that's very important how we address mountain issues. So we're not only maintain the 40% of ecosystem services, but also we support a large community in downstream also. So our focal area, and we try to look at the past, look at the cultural heritage side, try to create a shared vision in a fluctuated world through the participatory planning process and the intercultural dialogue. So soil community, the most land in the mountain region are degraded and is caused by soil erosion. So we need to produce high quality food, and by applying social equilibrium and cost-effective management methods and through the soil management. Smart agriculture, and we often talk about, and so through the new technology, and finally climate change, because the climate are very sensitive in the mountain region. How are we going to restore this process, and particularly ecologically? We think about the 4 steps. One is a species matter, to select say pure species or variety, include agricultural diversity, and the vertical community with tree, shrub, grasses, and the integrated system with tree, crop, livestock interaction. Finally, we look at the biomass as a business. So everything recycled through circular economy and the interaction with different society. So from single species to landscape, and the 4th step when we try to restore the degraded mountain ecosystem. So first things we have to learn from nature. So nature shows the way, and you see one side natural forest, and our modern agriculture, unfortunately, it's totally converted into monoculture, what we call desert or green desert. So we try to pick up 3 principles. One is a retain plant cover year-round, no soil disturbance, and plant vertically with trees, shrub, and grasses, and then use more species to increase the biological diversity. So very simple principle, and we work on that. And one is developing smart agroforestry system. For instance, if we think about to use less fertilizer, so we can find a solution from nature, from the species can fix nitrogen, and from plants and also the trees. So those species were often not only legume crop, but also the fruits and the timber species, and also some Cucurbitaceae family, and what we think about. And also, then how we think about to have integrated forestry, agriculture, livestock system. So we convert the woodland into nitrogen-fixing, fast-growing species, and then we have fast-growing, say, carbon-4 species and plant, and also to feed the livestock, and all we can develop into substrate, and not only for fertilizer, but also for animal feed, but also very important, develop mushroom by using new technology. Greenhouse was driven by the solar and also biomass. So this whole circular economy, which combine depends on biomass for everything. So everything recycled, and then we link to urban to generate income to support the system. So we start a very simple one, the mushroom cultivation. So we set up a 5 million bag capacity mushroom bag to buy biomass from local farmers and to feed into large factory. And very important, the later on we select different mushroom species locally. And so this project will not work in China. We try to expand it to Myanmar. Now we work with Balipala in northeast India. So we try to select the local species mushroom with a high value, market value. And finally, also very important, don't forget insects. The insects are wonderful and convert the plant and into the protein. And then conversion rate can be very high. That's the one insects and we commonly cultivate in China. And now in Beijing, in big city like Kunming, now we try to expand the rural area. So basically idea to collect the kitchen waste and the vegetable waste and put it into system with a large scale or small scale into, so and 2-3 weeks, and you have a huge insects production where the insects can feed the chicken and they can extract oil, and you can develop fertilizer, you develop feed for livestock and also for fish farm. So then also we extract for medicinal value. So insects, once you put insects, your ecosystem value immediately doubled or tripled and through this cycle. And then we use the plant protein, for instance, the waste cake from soybean process, and or from insects, which we mentioned in the last slide. And then we use the animal waste processing of chicken, tilapia, fish. We convert it into high-value biofertilizer. So those fertilizer were substitute chemical fertilizer used for a mango plantation. And the mango, and this year we showed in Beijing with the Swiss embassy. The Swiss ambassador said that's perhaps the best mango in his life. So this you can see from the recycle of everything, you convert again into high quality products. And the visual art already mentioned by previous presenter, and so use visual art to demonstrate the coupled socio-ecological system. So that's did by one farmer in the village. You can see how, from local perspective, they think about the mountain ecosystem, how much diverse, what they can provide a local income, also bring to market. Mushroom, livestock, the pine nuts, and everything interact and they collected from mountain. So the mountain is really as a coupled socio-ecological system. And very important is that we need to bring benefit to local people, particularly poor family and in the mountain region, but also bring the high quality products to urban people. So through the online system, so bring the high quality mango, upland rice, lowland, say paddy rice, and also the special variety of lime and avocado. So we basically create the 3 platform. One is a mountain school, which brings scientists, technicians, interact with local community, how to develop new scientific knowledge, which apply to local content. We have mountain shops, which opens the online shopping system, which allowed the consumer to buy high quality certified products from the mountain region. Finally, we have a mountain community, and then the outsider can, through the online system, can interact with our mountain farmer to see how products are produced and by whom, how into the market channel. So that's link farmer with the end consumer are very important to support the mountain future. So my talk is just try to stick on time, and so any question, let me know. Thank you.